Hey, welcome everybody to another segment of Market Stats and MOFIRS, where we explore what is that message right now that's appropriate for our market. And we look at a MOFIR. What's making an offer for immediate response that we can put out to invite people in to engage with us that, well, they match up with our message and we have an offer of value to them that's appropriate and relative to the market that we have today. Go back and watch some of the previous segments and you'll get even a better idea for how this works. So today we're going to look at a little mortgage hack, and let me start off with a little screen share real quick. And we're going to come in fact, let me back this up one notch. And Gary Keller was going through some mortgage hacks with us on a mastermind, and we were looking at, okay, mortgage rate buy down strategies. And if you've got a 1% of a mortgage rate, you choose to buy it down 1%. It's typically going to cost around 4 discount points. So in other words, 1 point is about 1/4% of the mortgage, takes you down 1/4% of the mortgage interest rate. So buying down the rate by 1 point costs 1% of the loan amount. Again, 1 point gets you 1/4% reduction in interest rate. So if we look at how that might play out, let's take a $500,000 mortgage and let's buy it down from 6.5% to 5%. Well, that's a 1.5% reduction. If it cost us 1 point for each 1/4% rate reduction, well, that's going to be 6 points. And each point's $5,000. It's 1% of the mortgage amount. In other words, that's $30,000. Now, that would be a concession possibly that would we be asking for from a seller. And at this price point in many of our markets, that might be very viable. And why would a buyer do that, ask for a 6% concession on the mortgage, rather than just take $30,000 off of the mortgage amount or the price? Well, let's take a look at some of the reasons. So let me stop the screen share, and I'm going to run some numbers by you real quick. And so, by the way, this might be the message. Yes, you can still get a 5% mortgage with my creative financing and negotiation skills. The MOFIR is sellers are negotiating. Let's connect for a strategy session to explore possibilities. Text me at blah, blah, blah. So that may be our message and our MOFIR that we put out to our database, our community, wherever we put that. Now, I'm using that as a placeholder for 6.5% going to 5%. We know rates are moving around. Make sure you're using appropriate mortgage rates today. But let's look at this example and how it might play out. So if the consumer were going ahead and financing that $500,000 mortgage at 6.5%, well, they'd have a $3,160 P&I payment. Now, if they went ahead and let's say, hey, let's just take $30,000 off, we're going to finance $470, we're going to negotiate the price down rather than concessions. Well, at the same 6.5%, they would have a mortgage of $2,970. So they'd go from $3,160 to $2,970. But what happens if they get a 6% concession and they take that same $500,000 financed at 5%? It's $2,684. Now, let's say they only qualify for $2,684 or right around $2,700. Well, at today's interest rates, they would only be able to finance $425,000. So $425,000 is $2,686 a month at 6.5%. $500,000 at 5% is $2,684, $2 difference. And so we've all heard that for every 1% increase in interest rate, a consumer loses 10 to 11% in buying power. You just saw that demonstrated. Put it in a mortgage calculator and take a look. That simple 1.5% drop gave them 15% more power in terms of purchasing. That's simply that low interest rate. So you can take somebody by using seller concessions and up their ability to get more house. Or you can just go ahead and get them a lower mortgage using a concession. And the payback on that is about 62 months. And so depending on how long they're going to be there, if they're going to be there less than 62 months, take the money off the house. They intend to be there 15 years, get the lower interest rate and let that go to work for you. So there's your gambit today. Let's make sure you're using current rates of the market. Now, by the way, this could be some strategy for your sellers as well. You want to put a unique value proposition out with your listing, say 5% mortgage available, or mortgage 1.5% below market. Call for details. And so you got a message that's attractive, where people want a lower rate. And maybe you take a seller and they price it appropriately, but they're firm, and they build in a 6% concession into their offering so they can lower the rate 1.5%. Could be something you do to stand out with your listing offerings as well, if you've got things not moving. Anyway, there you go. There's another session of Market Stats and MOFIRS. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.